This happened about a year ago when me and my girlfriend Alyssa decided to rent an Airbnb for the weekend. At the time, we just wanted to get out of the city, unwind, maybe argue a little bit about who forgot to pack the toothbrushes. Just a normal couple things. The place looked nice in the pictures, a quiet cabin outside of town, surrounded by trees, fresh air, and absolutely no neighbors, or that's what the host claimed. When we arrived, the house looked a lot older than the photos. Like the photos were taken in 2014, and the house we walked into was currently fighting for its life. The front door creaked so loud it sounded like it was following a complaint. Inside, everything smelled like Febreze and disappointment. Alyssa loved it, but I really didn't give a fuck. But we were tired, so we unpacked, ordered pizza, got butt-ass naked. I'll leave that part out. And then we got settled in. And then about an hour later, right as Alyssa was complaining about the place having no Hulu, we both heard it. It was coming from the basement door. Alyssa paused the TV and looked over to the basement door. She goes, "Babe, did you hear that?" I go, "Of course I fucking heard it, bitch." And I look over to the basement door. We stared at the basement door like two deers caught in headlights. I wasn't gonna open that door. Alyssa wasn't gonna open that door. So I texted the host. "Hey man, quick question. Are you like in the basement or something?" I said. "No, I'm not on the property," he says. I didn't want to sound like a scared little bitch, so I just replied, "Oh no, probably just the house settling or something, I don't know." I said, "This house was built 4 years ago," he says. "Oh, okay," I said. Alyssa looked at me like the host just said we were going to die tonight. We listened again. Silence. We told ourselves it was probably just a rat or something, or maybe a raccoon, or maybe a rat with raccoon tendencies. Whatever the fuck that means. Eventually we just forgot about it. We watched a movie, we relaxed, we started making out, and of course one thing led to another. And let's just say the walls were probably shaking harder than the basement door. Afterwards, we knocked out instantly. Later that night, around 3 a.m., just when I was in the middle of a really fucked up dream, I woke up to the sound again. This time, it was in the bedroom door. My heart was beating so loud that I was worried that whoever was on the other side could hear it. My girlfriend woke up in a panic, both of us startled. I scrambled for my phone faster than Usain Bolt, and I texted the host. "Bro, someone is at our bedroom door. Hello, please pick up. Please, please." No reply. The delivered icon may as well have said, "Good luck, nigga." It was 3 a.m. after all. Of course, the host was asleep, so of course he was useless, and of course there was a good chance we were about to get murdered. Alyssa grabbed my arms with both hands and said, "Mark, what if it's the host?" "No, he said he wasn't here. And I don't think homeowners knock on their own goddamn bedroom doors," I said. Then suddenly, the knocking stopped. Silence. Horrible silence. We didn't move. We didn't breathe. We just stared. But then suddenly, something in me snapped. Maybe it was adrenaline. Maybe it was stupidity. Definitely stupidity. Either way, I didn't give a damn. I whispered to my girlfriend, "No, I'm not letting someone fuck with us again," I said very aggressively. Alyssa whispered back, "Mark, no, you are not a horror movie character. Sit your ass down." But I was already sliding out of bed. I stumbled around the dark looking for something, anything to defend us. I checked the nightstand, nothing. Under the bed, nothing. The closet, nothing. Just broken coat hangers. The only thing that I could grab was a mini-sized deodorant can, but I held it like a weapon anyway. The footsteps were still right outside the door. My heart was pounding. I stepped up to the door and I yelled, "Hey, back up, I have a gun." Alyssa slapped her forehead, but from the hallway, silence. Total silence. I stood there breathing heavily, deodorant can shaking in my hand, and then Alyssa started whispering back, "Mark, please don't open the door, please," Alyssa said, but I was committed, even if I was terrified, even if my weapon was pathetic, even if every cell in my body was screaming, "Turn around." I had to know. So I started counting down. 1, 2, 3. I flung the door open and found nothing. Nobody. The hallway was empty. Completely empty. Not a shadow, not a movement, not even a sound. Alyssa's face slowly peeked from behind me. Her eyes were huge. We both just stood there, stunned, flabbergasted, shell-shocked, like the universe had pranked us or something. I whispered, Where did it go?" My heart was pounding out of my chest. I pulled out my phone and I started to angrily type to the host at full speed.
Bro, what the fuck is going on in this house? Stop playing fucking games. Is this you? Are you sending people in here? Answer me right now!
For a solid minute, Alyssa and I just stared at each other. We weren't moving, we weren't breathing, we weren't blinking. We genuinely thought, okay, that's not a person. Maybe that was a ghost. And honestly, my brain was just doing gymnastics, just trying to make sense out of it. A ghost, a demon, shapeshifter, nothing added up. And then we heard something, the sound of a door shutting, coming from all the way downstairs. Alyssa jerked towards me, panicked. That, Mark, the basement door, it just shut. I didn't want to admit that she was right, but she was right. Man, fuck this shit, I muttered. Alyssa's voice broke. I'm calling 911 right now. She grabbed her phone and darted back into the bedroom, hands shaking so badly she was struggling to unlock it. She was yelling frantically to the dispatcher on the phone. I wanted to tell her to shut the fuck up so bad, but I couldn't. I didn't want to risk anything, now with the potential killer inside of the house. But I found myself slowly stepping down the staircase, every step creaking like it was begging me to turn around. The air felt heavier, colder, like the house was holding its breath. It was pitch black down there, the kind that swallows you whole. I switched on the wall light and I crept down the stairs. Halfway down, a cold breeze hit my face, and that's when I saw it. The basement window, wide open, curtain blowing inward, cold night air pouring in. I froze. Oh my God, I whispered. It wasn't a ghost. Someone was in here. The truth hit me like a punch to the gut. Someone had been knocking, wondering, testing doors, standing outside our bedroom, hiding, waiting, and now had slipped out the basement window. I was so terrified that I felt nauseous. Someone had been in here. Someone had climbed out. I backed up a step, heart pounding till the full is extinct. Then, that's when I heard something. Slam! The basement door slammed shut upstairs. I bolted up the stairs, taking them two at a time. I grabbed the doorknob and I tried to twist it. Locked. The basement door was locked from the outside. Usa! Usa! I shouted, pounding my fist on the door.
Alyssa, open the door! Mark, I didn't close anything. I didn't touch the door.
I froze. The realization hit me like a gut punch. If Alyssa didn't lock the door, then who did? I was scared as a motherfucker, my nigga. Usa! Usa! My blood ran cold. Then I started hearing these footsteps. My heart dropped to my stomach.
Alyssa! Alyssa, he's coming up! He's coming up the stairs!
I screamed until my voice broke. I twisted the doorknob, slamming my shoulder into it. The wood splintered, but didn't give. The footsteps kept climbing. Alyssa's voice on the 911 call turned hysterical. She was panicking, screaming. I wanted to save her, but I couldn't. My voice echoed through the basement as I slammed into the door over and over. I could hear Alyssa sobbing, begging the dispatcher, yelling through the phone. But the footsteps didn't stop. They reached the top of the stairs, and then they were banging on the door. I threw myself at the basement door so hard I saw stars. And just when it sounded like the intruder was about to break down the bedroom door, sirens. Yeah, motherfucker, they got your ass now. Red and blue lights filled the house through the curtains upstairs.
Come out with your hands up!
And then I heard running, racing back down the hallway, across the living room, towards the front of the house. The basement door suddenly clicked. Someone unlocked it. It was a police officer. He reached out and helped me up the last step. I clung to the railing just to stay upright. As soon as we reached the top, Alyssa ran into me and wrapped her arms around me so tight I could barely breathe. She was shaking even worse than I could imagine. Her face was streaked with tears, and she could barely talk. One of the officers looked around the house, flashlight still sweeping the corners. "You two okay?" he asked gently. We weren't, not even close. We just nodded, because we didn't know what else to do. A little while later, we started shoving our clothes back into our bags without folding anything. We grabbed our chargers, shoes, everything we could find and get our hands on, we put back into our bags. Alyssa refused to go anywhere alone. I didn't blame her. Every shadow felt like someone hiding. One officer stood by the front door while we packed. Another waited by the car. They didn't leave until we were completely gone, driving away with shaking hands and pounding hearts. When we finally made it somewhere safe, a hotel with 24/7 staff, I turned my phone back on. I had a new message from the AIRBNB host. "Hey Mark, just checking in. I heard there was some police activity.
Everything okay?
I didn't answer him back. I didn't want to hear his bullshit. And I didn't want some generic apology. I reported his listing instead. Not because I blamed him directly, but because something was seriously wrong with that house. Whether it was an intruder or a ghost, it didn't matter. And there was no way in hell I was going to let someone else go through what we did. But the lesson that we learned is that we are never renting an Airbnb again.